Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another discussion. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. I really gotta talk about this thing. I hate the double standards that have plagued human history, but, right now, more than anything else, because, we're at a point where, we can actively record it in real time. We have the receipts. We look at all of this evidence. And even then, there's a double standard. And, as you can see by the title, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, thumbnail-wise, because I just screenshotted, the comments, essentially. And that's what I want to use as my thumbnail, either the comment or the actual, story. But it's not just this instance, okay? It was this chick, at a daycare, and, she was, grooming a kid and stuff like that, and he was, 10 years old. And it's not only that, but it's a whole bunch of, instances across, the education industry just being played with freaking pedos, man. And no one cares because it's a freaking woman, and it doesn't make sense to me. And, I truly see how, across history, there have been, female serial killers, because I don't know why people act as though, somehow, the female of the species is less violent, than males. That's complete bullcrap. Anyone has the capacity to do wrong. Anyone has the capacity to harm. The funniest thing is that I'm sure, a lot of people, especially, men, considering that, I don't really think that this video, even if the few people that might find it, I doubt they're usually women. It's most likely just men, But I'm sure that you can attest to the fact that usually you've probably had females, either physically harm you or just straight up, mentally harm you. Especially because, me, I'm a Blizzax, I'm from the community, nibba, right? All they do here is just, freaking mentally, emotionally, and psychologically harm you. So I don't understand why there has always been this idea that even if they're not harming you physically, that they're not harming you. Why has human history for some reason believed that I don't know, that they're more tender, they're more nice, because if you don't know, if you look at points in human history, dude, I'm gonna be honest. And I think it just goes back to this primal thing. Chicks have eaten their children. You can look that up. In times of famine, they didn't necessarily wait for the kids to die. Yeah. But, I'm not going to say that in the sense of, how evil or something like that, because it's a time of famine. But I'm going to go back again to the primal thing, because if you look, there are a lot of, female, mothers in the animal kingdom that if, they're in a time of hunger, they'll just eat the kid. Or if they're in a time where, they don't think they can save their kids from getting eaten by a predator, they eat the kids themselves. It's some weird crap, man. But I'm trying to keep this on topic. But this idea that, this justice system has, and I guess society at large, because it's whenever you see that crap, people don't really care about pedos. They don't care. I kind of said, maybe maybe we all just need to, just do what Japan did, and just say, alright, 13 is, the new age of consent. I'm sure that you can understand why I did that, because cocktube, but still, maybe we need to do that, because until everyone, the men and the women can do that, then it's not right. I want consistency, I know it's effed up, because obviously it's wrong. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a problem with it because, I wish I was in that position because, it's a female teacher and stuff like that, well then, let's just go ahead and let the males have that. Because as you're seeing in today's day and age, with all of this crap, this raunchy stuff, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I worked at a summer camp, close by to the neighborhood that I live, right? And the chicks that were coming in here, the little girls, they were wearing booty shorts. They looked like they were a whole prostitute. And trust and believe, the stuff that they listen to, those freaking ratchet arse songs, Make Me Sweat, Make Me Want It, this wet arse pussy, this is what they listen to. And I would not be surprised if there are instances where, like, these males that came on to, like, these little girls, if it was the other way around. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, these little girls that came on to males. Yeah. That crap is real. Some of these chicks will literally say, like, oh, like, I pursued a relationship with a guy in high school while I was in elementary school, like, freaking 12 or 13 years old. So there's something going on with that. And like I said, I just want consistency. You know, if guys are gonna constantly make excuses, because out of that whole Instagram thing, like, I didn't look at all of the comments, but let's just say that I scrolled through for, like, let's just say maybe like a full minute, like, just slowly looking at what they were saying, and all it was like, oh, she ruined it, bro, like, oh, y'all was just jealous. What are y'all smoking? This was a freaking person grooming a kid. I thought you have a problem. Like, whenever it's a guy, you know, like, it's a problem. You know, you say, oh, like, okay, we need to kill that sucker, we need to, like, you know, chop the dick off, all that crap. When it's a chick, apparently, oh, no, no, you can't do that, you know, I'm so envious. And it's because, like, these suckers are so freaking down bad because they act like freaking prostitutes don't exist, and so they act like, I can't get coochie no matter what. I was literally having a whole conversation, not an argument, okay? I don't argue. I was having a whole conversation with a fellow like that the other day because, like, they were honestly trying to say that it was unethical for you to see a prostitute. No, they're not a sex worker. They are a prostitute, a hooker, a slore, a cum dump, a freaking receptacle for jizz, whatever you want to call it. No, we should not elevate it to this status of work. Work requires some kind of skill that you are exchanging your time for, you know, in exchange of payment. She doesn't have to be good at the freaking sex. She could literally just lay there starfish, realistically speaking. So, yeah. You know, like, she's not a freaking sex worker. But let me just go ahead and get off that topic. But yeah, like, he was trying to argue that it was unethical. How is it unethical, like, when chicks are literally just willfully saying that at, like, freaking 13, 14 years old they want to be OnlyFans models? How is it unethical? You know, like, why is there always this double standard that, okay, the guy is going here, and now it's unethical, but it's not unethical that the chick is doing it in the first place? How is it unethical that, okay, the guy is coming on to a little girl, which is obviously wrong, but then when it's the other way around, all these guys are just jealous? It doesn't make sense to me, because people really just don't care about right and wrong. They don't care. They don't care, and I'm going to start saying that crap to people. I'm going to be completely honest, because the truth of the matter is that humans as a whole, like, they're just freaking evil. They're evil, man. No one can tell me otherwise, because any instance where they think that they can get away with anything, they'll do it. That is why, like, you know, apocalyptic situations, usually the biggest threat you have to worry about is other people, because they think that they can get away with anything, and so they'll do it. You know, I think that we civilized the world, and I don't say we, you know, like, I take a massive credit for it, I just say humanity as a whole. I think we civilized the world because we realize how freaking chaotic we are as a nature, and at our nature, and so we try and, like, you know, put these rules and regulations into place so that we, you know, cannot completely go insane and whatnot, because, like, there's anarchists and stuff like that, so oh, no rules at all. But at the end of the day, when you have no rules at all, like, usually it's gonna screw you over. Anarchists are always under the assumption that it'll be them screwing someone else over. You know, no one feels as though it's good if they're over here getting tortured or mutilated or something like that. No one does. So I don't know why people act as though rules are bad. It's just, I wish that the rules applied for everyone, and I think we all do, but unfortunately people don't abide by that, and the people that make the rules always make sure that there's a way for them not to have to follow. But what irritates me most of all is mainly this concept that we know, okay, we all know that what they're doing is wrong. We know that what they're doing is having a massive negative impact, and no one wants to do anything. Everyone is just under this assumption that no matter what, because they have tatas, hoo-has, a fat arse, that they should just walk free. And there are instances where, like, you can literally just ask certain lawyers and stuff like that, and they'll just straight up admit that the law is designed to, like, view women in a less hostile light when it comes down to, like, prosecution and stuff like that. That's why they always get less time. You know, they can lie about a false accusation. They can essentially have actually freaking iced some dude, and it's fine. Remember that chick in, I think it was California, Like, and they basically said, oh, because she was high, she was on marijuana, even though she stabbed her, like, boyfriend or something like that, like, I don't know if it was 50 times, 100 times, it was quite a lot of times. She stabbed that sucker into deletion, and they let her go. She didn't even get time in jail. Dude. If that was a guy, you know that he would have been gone, they would have thrown away the key. Especially if it would have been the other way around, like, he attacked her. You know, like, it's really irritating. And I truly see why people did what they did across history. You know, like, I see why guys just, like, said, you know what, no, like, I'm not gonna just be this whole, like, women and children first. And, you know, now when I, like, look at movies, I like, really just, I really, like, say, no, not that women and kids first. Like, is it your kid? Is it your wife? Is it your woman? And no, don't do that. You know, maybe for the kid, man. Maybe for the kid, but even then I understand, especially in today's climate, because they don't... I said this before. You know, our society does not reward... This is why I'm saying, like, you know, no one cares about justice, because our society punishes the people who do the right thing. How many instances do you see, like, where someone fights off an attacker who's trying to kidnap a kid, and then they're the ones who, like, get charged for actually trying to kidnap the kid? How many times do you see where a guy, like, fights off an attacker from, like, an abusive, I'm sorry about that barking, but, like, an abusive partner or something like that, and he's the one who gets in trouble. Why does he get in trouble? That doesn't make any sense, you know? He shouldn't get in trouble for something, like, if she chose to be with an abusive bastard, and she's getting abused in public, even if she says, oh, I want to drop the charges, how is she able to then say, okay, sue this guy because he beat up the person beating me up? Even if she drops the charges for the person who attacked her, how is the law designed in a manner to where, like, she can now prosecute the other dude? That doesn't make sense. No one can explain that to me, because it's just wrong. And I think a lot of us know deep down that a lot of, like, the law is just someone talking out their arse. Because realistically speaking, under most circumstances, it's just really about money. That's really all it boils down to. Isn't that what they say? Money makes the world go round and crap like that. So if they think that they can use something that is obviously wrong, that is obviously not fair, and they know that they can get a good bit of money out of it, they'll do it. And they just don't care. They do not care. And I think that's one of the stupidest things that we have to deal with, like, on a regular basis, because you're in a day and age now where you can have all of the receipts, like I said, you can have all the evidence, all the data, and you can still just screw someone over for something that they shouldn't have even had to worry about, you know? They should not have had to worry about it, and they still get in trouble. Why? This isn't like freaking medieval ages where it's just like their word against yours, and it's about how credible they are, and, you know, you just have to, like, freaking pick something, you have to, like, poke someone with a freaking needle and decide if they're lying or some bullcrap, or they need to do some kind of pagan thing and just say, oh, according to, like, you know, my animal spirits, this person is telling the truth. We have the evidence, and we still just let certain people go because of their freaking gender and their sex. Like, it doesn't make sense. This is why, like I say, like, when there were fellas, like, one of the things that I actually do is I actually study history a lot, right? So something that I've been doing is I've been studying a lot of ocean disasters, because, like, YouTube recommended me a video, and I'm fascinated about that, because it really shows you what people do in moments of survival. Like, all of that crap about how good of a person you are, that'll fly out the window. You know, like, you'll see people freaking, you know, just completely stampeding over kids and babies, not giving a rat's arse. So whenever someone's telling you, like, how good of a person is, I argue that usually the ultimate sign of if you are actually a somewhat decent fellow, or madam at that point, right, is when you prove that even in a time where you could possibly lose your life, you still choose not to screw someone else over, even if that puts you in a better position. You know, even if stomping on that baby so that now you don't have to worry about, you know, carrying a kid puts you at an easier state if you still choose to, like, try and keep that baby alive or something like that, especially if it's your baby. Because, listen, I'm telling you, in these survival instances, there's chicks that just throw their kids. You can freaking, like, look it up, man. I'm dead serious. Like, look at these ocean disasters where, like, the ships are sinking and stuff like that. They throw their kids and stuff like that, dude. But, like, why I'm bringing this up is because in typical fashion, again, like, they freaking try and get on the guys. Like, the guys who choose to not say women and kids first, like the guys who would try and get a raft of their own, they're labeled as cowardly men. Cowardly men? How? Let's say that they're bachelors. Let's say that they actually have a wife, actually, and, like, they're at home. They're cowardly because they're just automatically supposed to give up their life so that a stranger and their family live? Why? Because when you really think about it, the whole, like, concept of, like, women and kids first, like, this doesn't really make any sense. Like, think about it. Like, wouldn't it make more sense for, like, the guy to get the kids, men and kids first or something like that? And I get, I mean, people are automatically going to be feeling jaded about that, but you have to, like, think about it from a logical standpoint. Usually, the guys were responsible for building, especially back in the day. I'm talking, like, you know, like, in more traditional times. And this is why I'm absolutely against traditional times. Usually they were responsible for, like, a whole bunch of the labor in the building and the sheltering, constructing houses, like agriculture. It was mainly, like, a lot of manual work back in the day because we didn't have all those machines. So considering that the guys manipulate their environment at an objectively higher rate than women, why do we then say, okay, in this survival situation, we're going to make sure that all of the women and kids are good first, considering that if they were with the father, they would probably have a better chance. You know what I'm saying? To me, it does not make sense. Again, I'm sorry about that barking. You know, I can't control it. But, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. I wish personally that, I just wish that we just actually looked from a more, like, okay, I don't give a rat's arse if you got titties and an arse. If you did something effed up and it's worthy of the execution penalty, you get executed. You know, if you're over here molesting kids, you get dealt with as a freaking molester. You get the same time that a freaking fellow would have got. Why do we even have separate times? That in of itself should prove to you the way that it's biased. Why does someone get a separate time from someone else just because of sex? That doesn't make any sense. That's not something that they could control. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and step on toes. I know it's still a certain month, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't care about that month. I care about Men's Mental Health Month. So, you know, now I was going to say suck a dick, but that would have been pretty counterintuitive, you know, so whatever. I just think it's insane that no matter how often you bring this up and you show this, like, everyone still just, like, makes some kind of excuse for it. And, like, that's a double standard, and I know it's a double standard, but I'm gonna let it slide. I know it's bullcrap, but I'm just gonna, whatever. Nah, dude. That's why I say, you know, for everyone, dude, like, considering that we're in a day and age where, like, you have the video evidence, you have the statistics and stuff like that, and you still see that there's a double standard? No. Mm-mm. Unless it's someone that you know, don't get involved in it. You know, my name's Bennett, and I'm not in it. My name's Paul, that's between y'all. Because even if it's an effed up situation, you don't know the full details. And even if you do, is the law going to side with you? You know? Is the law going to side with you? So no, don't get involved, man. Because it's too often where, like, you're looking at this stuff in real time. It's happening in real time. All of these freaking groomers and pedos that have tatas and hoo-has, they're getting off, and they're getting away with it. And I don't mean it in that, you know, like, you sick bastard. I mean it like they're getting off scot-free. They're getting away with it. And if they do go to jail, like, they're out within, like, maybe a week, half a year, or something like that. Like, and everyone is just making excuses, and they're saying, oh, I wish I was them. I wish I was them. This is why I say we need to just, like, legalize prostitution and just tax it into oblivion. You know, because maybe if they saw that, then they wouldn't be defending this bullcrap. But they still would. They don't care. We're never going to have a system that's actually you know, not double standard in some capacity, actually equitable. And, you know, we didn't, but actually, I don't know, because, I'm gonna be honest, I read a story about, like, China, about this story. This adulterer, you know, she, like, came up onto this fella who was married, and she convinced him to unalive his wife and kids, and within a year, dude, China executed them, both. It wasn't just a man, it was her. And I read another story, because I saw it from Mr. Ballin, about this person who was, like, kidnapping, like, women in China, and, he would try and kill them, but, like, one of the chicks, she just begged him, like, oh, I'll help you, please don't kill me, and, like, so she actually did start helping him kill people, and when he did get caught, and they caught her too, she tried to, you know, cry her way out of it, and the judge still sentenced her to death as well. So, you know, maybe in some places, you know, like, they are a bit more, you know, equal in how they dish out the justice. And that's usually what I would prefer in all the instances. Are there instances where someone should get a little bit of understanding or something, like a little bit of leniency? Maybe. But I don't think it should happen as often as it happens. Because it's completely ridiculous to try and make it seem as though something is as wrong as it is, and then just say, okay, this person has tits, they have an arse, let them get away with it, you know? And it does apply to, like, guys too, but it's, like, usually the only way that it applies to men is if you have enough money and connections to just get out of it. Like, the chicks can just do it just because, well, I got tatas and hoo-has, so, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I know I'm screaming about, like, an issue that no one's really gonna give a rat's arse about, because, like, as I say this, I'm sure that there's just some guy that's just like, well, I wish I was still in high school. Where was she for me? Like, go touch a hooker, dude. Like, if you're at the point where you're literally defending a pedophile, that's what they are, a pedophile. But because they are a female pedophile, you know, like, if you are at that point, then you really need to get locked up too, in my opinion. Like, you gotta think about that. Why is a woman going after a kid? You have to think about that, for real. Why are they molesting kids? In certain aspects, you could understand why a guy does it. Let's say that he is incredibly sexually frustrated, and he could easily overpower a kid. All a chick has to do to get a guy to want to sleep with her is just open her legs and just offer them the sex. Why is she molesting the kid? Why is she grooming the kid? It doesn't make sense. So, like, whenever someone's saying that, like, I don't really think they're comprehending what they're saying in that heat of the moment. It's very stupid. I don't know, dude. I'm sick of looking at double standards. I'm sick of looking at instances where we're looking at objectively wrong stuff happening, but because of what someone's got dangling there or not dangling there, because they either have chesticles or testicles, we let it slide, or we punish it severely. Can we just actually get some true equality? Isn't that what people won't shut up about today? We're equality. So can we get it in the freaking punishment realm? Like, is that too much to ask for? Of course it's too much to ask for, you know? Of course it is. I think I'm just going to end it here, though. You know, I could go on and on in my mental frustration about it, but I guess it's not too good to dwell on, but it is good to, you know, get it out of your system and vent a little bit. Yeah, we need something, dude, because it's at a record high here. You know, I don't know, like, what's going on in these other countries, but I do know that at least in China, from what I've been seeing, like, you know, if you get caught in that crap, it's your arse, you know. In Japan, like, they legalized it to where it's like, you could technically legally be a pedo there, because it's like 13-year-old chicks are, like, in their eyes, consenting. But you gotta, you know, funny thing about that, isn't it funny, because I keep joking about it when my friends say, imagine literally legalizing pedos and your birth rate is still as bad as Japan's. like they literally just said, okay, you freaking, like, anime lolly enjoyers, okay, we've legalized lollies, and they still have a failing birth rate. They still have a failing birth rate. It's hilarious. But But whatever, dude. Like, I'll just go ahead and end it here. I'll at least go ahead and end it here, you know? Let me know your opinion on that matter. Like, do you guys agree? Do you think that it's just stupid that there is a massive double standard with how that stuff is handled? Because for me, I just think it's insane. I don't think anyone should be getting off scot-free just because they've got chesticles. You know, like, that doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But I digress. Thank you all for watching. God bless. I'll see you in the next time.